All right, boys and girls. Day I've been excited about and dreading for a while. It's ball joint day on the old Dirty Dodge. Took me a while to kind of figure out what all I should at least start with as far as the basics. So I went ahead and got two new upper control arm assemblies. Got them from somewhere on eBay, but it's TRQ. And I think, what is that? 1AAuto.com. They sell this brand as well. They come with brand new ball joints riveted in. They come with the castle nuts and cotter pins and all that. New bushings for the A-arm. And paint looks pretty good on them. Can't complain. I got these for like $168 for a pair of them. So about $80 a piece. That's pretty good. The cheap ones at the auto parts stores were like $150 a piece. So, and then I got these guys. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand, but this is eBay or Amazon as well. But got new bump stops. The bump stops were not even there on the truck, so I figured I'd put them in there while I'm there. Those are cheap too. Good price, I should say. We'll find out if they're cheap or not. Got Monroe's finest shocks for the front and rear. Actually, they come with all the parts also. You know, new rubber bushings and a nut and those washer, dome-shaped washer things that come on there, or that you attach to them anyway. Then I got the lower ball joints. I got new stabilizer pins with bushings, and this is all for the front, mind you, other than the rear shocks. Here's one of the lower ball joints. It's still bagged up, kind of hard to see, but something I didn't like. Actually, let me get the other one and I'll show you. Okay, so we're back. Here's the ball joint, one of the ball joints that's out of the package. These are greasable. They come with a little grease zerk fitting, so that's why I bought these. And I like the color of the boot. I'm kind of partial to blue. Main reason is because they were some of the cheapest ones I could find. And I just dropped, there it is. Okay, so these ball joints, the lower ones on this 02 Ram 2500 two-wheel drive with the 24 valve Cummins 5.9 diesel in it. That's this model. Probably the same on a lot of different ones. Okay, but this ball joint comes with new nuts and bolts. Comes with these black ones here and nylon. The nuts have like nylon lockers in them or whatever. When you put this in here, look at how much play this thing has in it. Look at that. Unless I'm missing something, I've never done lower ball joints on this particular model. I've only done them on a 4x4, and they're all pressed in, so I'm new to this bolting ball joints on crap. But I didn't like that. And I wasn't about to tear this thing apart in my driveway and have to leave all my thousands of dollars worth of tools and stuff sitting out my driveway and have to run all over town and try to find bolts. So I brought the ball joint with me to Fastenal, and I matched up a much better fitting bolt. You can move it very, very slightly. Of course, it's loose, but that one fits in there much better. And the size from Fastenal is a M14 2x45. And they only had 5 of each one of these. Each lower ball joint takes 4 bolts. So let me find the other bag. One of these bolts that I got from Fastenal is longer. It's like 5 millimeters longer, and the other one's shorter. M14 2x50. Yeah, so these are 45 millimeters long, and these are 50 millimeters long. So, but you can always get longer bolts because you can cut them if you have to. You can't make a shorter bolt longer. Duh, right? So, you know, I don't know. I'm going to find out once I grind the, what do you call it, the rivets off the old ball joints, because you do have to drill the rivets out and knock them out. I'm going to try to get a good shot of them here. They're right here. It's these 4 rivets right here. Okay. There's the ball joint. It sticks down. There's the nut. I'm actually soaking it in some WD-40. I'm going to try to knock that off here in a minute. But problem is you can't see how big these holes are, so I don't even know if those M14 bolts are going to fit. So they may not. I don't know. Hopefully they will. I could just ream them out, I guess, but we'll see. I really don't want to go taking material off of the lower A-arm of a diesel pickup truck unless I have to, you know what I'm saying? It'll weaken it. Anything you take away from that is going to weaken it fractionally. So anyway, I got the front A-arm off. These little pins right here, they're basically like bolts, and they have this little bracket thing attached to them, and they go up in here, and you cannot see these things when all this stuff is in the way. They're pretty much buried back there, but when you loosen that nut, they're gonna kind of dangle down and they will fall out. So keep an eye on these. Kind of hard to lose. It's a big part, but there's one here and there's one on that side up there, and they're both sticking up, and they have this bracket on them so the bolt doesn't spin while you're loosening the nut that's on top. I took the shock out. That was a total pain in the you-know-what, as well as taking that stabilizer link out. That was kind of a pain. The tie rod came off real easy, but the boot is completely ripped, and it's got weight. You should not be able to take a tie rod on a heavy-duty pickup truck and just move it like that. Let me see here. Here's the upper A-arm. Let me show you. Oh, yeah, look at that. There's nothing there. That thing could have broken or come out at any given second. You hit a pothole too hard or whatever, had to brake hard, turn hard, that thing could have came out. Super loose. So, but anyway, there's the old one. And I've got the new ones over there. So, and I waited till the hottest day of the year so far to do this. So that was extra smart on my part, you know. But, geez, something I didn't record. I didn't feel like getting my camera out that day. I actually replaced the windshield wiper motor. And there's a lot of videos online on YouTube about it, and that's how I figured out how to do it. But basically, oh, there's my hubcap. Basically, you raise the hood up, and you'll have a bunch of these little, what are they, star bolts or T-bolts or something like that. You can get sets of them at sets of the little tools at, you know, AutoZone and Harbor Freight, anywhere. For, I don't know, maybe 10 bucks, you get a whole set of them. But, so there's a little pin down in there. You raise the bottom part of this wiper up, and there's a pin. You pull it out, and you can pull the wipers right off. Of course, the wiper blades were trashed too. So, I went ahead and put 2 new cheap wiper blades on it. But, anyway, so you take this whole plastic piece off. There's maybe 5 to 7 of those little bolts or fasteners or whatever. Comes right off, and the wiper motor's right there. And from what it looked like to me, you couldn't really reinstall it the wrong way. It looked to me like you could only fit it in there one way. So, you know, a novice mechanic, somebody who's pretty mechanically inclined, got at least a half decent toolkit, could probably do that themselves. So that's the first thing I wanted to do. I could have got a wiper motor on Amazon or eBay for maybe around 50 bucks or so. but I needed to knock it out that day if I was going to do it. So I went to AutoZone and I got one for like $109 out the door. They didn't do a core exchange or anything like that, but you know, it works fine, and they said it has a lifetime warranty on it. So if it ever goes bad, you bring it back, they give you another one. So figured that was a pretty fair deal and saved a lot of labor, a lot of money on labor. That probably would have been, you know, $250 to $500 if I would have taken it to a shop. So, you know, that's how she goes. People got to make money, and I understand it, but not gonna make it off me. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm going to keep going. I really, it's hard to film all this stuff because I don't have anyone to hold my camera for me. I'm going to knock a tripod over 500 times, and I don't, you know, I'm not going to do that to my poor little 6-pound, 5-ounce baby phone. So I'm just going to keep going and kind of film a little bit as I go. Hopefully this content will help somebody out. So we'll see, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, so this is where I'm at so far. Pretty much everything is off except the lower ball joint. I ground them, drilled them. I've been beating the crap out of them with a punch and a hammer and all that. I got some grind marks on the A-arm. I really didn't want to do that, but it was kind of unavoidable. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to get them out. They're coming out one way or another. I don't want to have to pull the entire A-arm off where it's connected to the frame and bring it in the garage, but I'm going to do that if I have to because this side is getting rebuilt tonight. That was my goal today. I've done this before on different vehicles, and I knew better than to think I was going to do the whole thing in one day or a half day or whatever. So yeah, I allowed myself enough time. I've been taking breaks, chilling out, sitting here baking in the hot sun too. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'll let y'all know. I'm suffering a little bit of defeat here, y'all. Let me show you what's going on. Darkness is almost upon us. And I got this atrocious freaking mess out here. I have thrown everything at these freaking rivets. I drilled them completely out. I beat the living crap out of these things with a punch, a chisel, a sledgehammer. They're not budging. I've broken 3, count them, 3 drill bits. Milwaukee Cobalt drill bits. Snapped them. I'm kind of at a loss here, man. So I'm hoping that's enough to hold those on there for now, because I cannot leave my pressure washing rig parked out in the street overnight. I can, but I won't. You know, I got too much in that thing, and it would take too long to replace it. So basically what I think I'm going to do is install all the new parts but the lower ball joint, and I'm not going to be driving this thing around. I'm just going to park it in my driveway. And so I looked online, and I can get 2 brand new lower control arms with new bushings, ball joints and everything for, I think it was like $300. So I'm not going to spend another 5 hours out here trying to get these stupid freaking rivets out. Dodge, y'all suck for doing that. They either need to be pressed or bolted. You know, I would have been done with this whole side hours ago. So that's where I'm at. So I'm going to go ahead and button everything up, put the new parts on this side, and I'm going to order those lower control arms because I'm going to have to tear back into this thing, and I'll just take everything off that I need to replace the lower control arm with the ball joint already in it and be done with it, because that's a freaking nightmare, man. You know, I've seen videos of people getting those things out of there. I don't know how they did it, because these are not freaking budging. I mean, I am wailing on these things with a sledgehammer and a punch, and they are not freaking moving. So I'm going to get those lower control arms ordered. They'll be in about 4 days to a week. And Dirty Dodge got me today. But it won the battle, but it hasn't won the war. Trust me. All right. I'll keep y'all updated. All right, guys. 10, 12 years later, got the Dirty Dodge lifted up. Got the driver's side tire off of it. Come outside. It's hot. It's actually the coolest day it's been for a while. It's like 85. Feels like about 95. So I figured for about the next 6 months, there's not going to be cooler temperatures than this. So I might as well knock some work out on this truck today. And this happened. I went inside to turn the steering wheel so I could get to the bolts that I needed to reach. Slammed the door, and a bunch of red wasps started coming out of the mirror. I guess they made a little nest in there. And one of them popped me on the back of the head. So I had to hose the whole thing down with wasp killer. So that's where I'm at right now. Got all over my tools and everything, but my head's starting to swell up. Feels like I got a golf ball sized knot on the back of my head, but I'll live. It's not the first time it's happened, so let me keep rolling, man. I've got I bought new lower control arms for this thing. Last time I worked on it, I couldn't get the freaking ball joints out. They're supposed to be riveted in. They are riveted in, and you're supposed to drill them out, knock them out. And I ordered new ball joints that you can bolt in, which are pretty cool. These actually have a grease fitting on them, but couldn't get the rivets out. Got tired of messing with it. I know a lot of you are probably going to comment, oh, you could take a torch and heat it up and then knock them out, or put them in a press, take them to take the lower A-arm off and take it to a machine shop. I ain't got time for that, okay? I'm the kind of guy that when I start working on something, I want the new parts in front of me so I don't have to do this 3 or 4 more freaking times. So I went ahead and ordered new lower control arms that have brand new bushings, brand new ball joints, everything in them. And I also ordered 1.5 inch, basically a leveling kit for the front. So they're just like little 1.5 inch pucks that sit on top of the coil springs. And I'm going to put those on there because this truck is like that when it's sitting on level ground. I mean, I guess that's the way it's supposed to be, but it's ugly, man. I don't like it. And I don't want to, just gives you a little more ground clearance. It may change the ride completely. I don't know. I've never installed one before, but it looks easy enough. I've watched a bunch of videos on it, so hopefully it'll help level the stance out a little bit, and hopefully it won't negatively affect the ride. So I'm going to do all that. My goal today is to slowly but surely, I'm taking breaks. It's hot. I'm sweaty. Slowly but surely get this side done. I'm going to do everything on this side except the tie rod ends. I haven't ordered those yet. I want to get the suspension done first. Then after all that's done, I'll replace the tie rod ends and go get an alignment done on it. So that's the goal today, to get the driver's side done. So I'm going to try to get as much footage as I can. So y'all stay tuned. All right, guys. So, man, that's good. Soaking wet. Feels like 95 out here, like I said already, but I got the lower A-arm, the new lower A-arm on. That was not really that bad. Flip my camera around here. So I did readjust the upper A-arm. I loosened those 2 bolts. That's what holds this whole control arm or A-arm, whatever, on. I loosened those up to push it back, because I did that one previously without doing the lower one, and then when I put everything back together, the wheel was kind of sitting a little cockeyed, I guess. So I got that pushed back in, tighten those back up. That's where the top shock bolt is right there, or nut, I should say. I got the new shock in. It's a little tricky reaching the nut that's on that side, because there's like a little slot underneath there, and it's real hard to fit a pair of pliers in there. And I didn't have a wrench in my garage big enough to fit on that nut. I've got one in my work van down there, but I didn't feel like, I don't like taking tools out of my work van and mixing them up, because they're in there for a reason, and I don't want to screw up and not put them back in there, and then when I'm out in the field I need them. So anyway, got the brake caliper hanging by a little piece of wire. If you guys aren't sure what to use, you could use one of those metal coat hangers like you get at the dry cleaners. Those work really well. So upper A-arm already had the new ball joints and new bushings. Lower A-arm is in, new bushings. I definitely would recommend soaking those bolts with penetrating oil. I had WD-40, so that's what I used, and I took a wire brush right there, stainless steel wire brush, and I scrubbed the end of the bolts off. There it is right there. You can see it before I loosened them. These are new brake rotors. They're slotted and drilled. Got them from Detroit Axle on eBay, I think. So they're pretty. So yeah, got that bump stop in there. Super easy to put that in. I had to take out the stabilizer pin and bushings. There's a nut up on the bottom of the lower control arm. Not all those are the same though. I've seen a bunch of different ones. So there's basically a hex head at the top and either a nut or a hex head at the bottom. And you put the bushings and washers and stuff in there, and you're pretty much done. So that's pretty much it for now. I've got to put the caliper mounting bracket on, then the new pads and caliper on, and put this wheel back on, and I'm done with this side. So golly, man, I cannot wait for the day I can afford to have a little shop with a lift in it. I guarantee you I would shave half the time off if I had a lift, if I could stand up and do this standing up. You know, it's a pain in the butt doing it. It's not that it's not doable. It's totally doable. I'm just grouchy and I'm hot right now, and I weigh over 300 pounds. I've got back issues, stuff like that, and I just don't like doing stuff like this on the ground. So that's why I'm being a complainer. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to get this side buttoned up. I don't think I have it in me to do the passenger side. Oh, by the way, I did use Duralast A-arms, or lower control arms, I'm sorry. So one thing I did notice, this right here, CA18088. They fit great. They look just like the OEM or factory lower control arms. No problems at all putting them in. Everything lines up. But this one says front lower left hand. Okay. So in all my years of working in the motorcycle and side-by-side industry and stuff like that, you always, if they say left hand or right hand, you always think of that as if you are sitting in the driver's seat facing forward towards like the front bumper, you know. So left hand front lower would be the driver front lower. And the one that fit on there was this one. It's upside down. I marked this just so I could tell that, but it's part number CA18087, and that says left lower right hand. So going by what I just explained, the right hand would be the passenger side. But in this case, the right hand wouldn't fit on the driver's side, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I did both of them, because if I would have taken all this crap apart and got the wrong A-arm, I'd have been hot. I would have been hot about that. But, you know, glad I got both of them. But I would definitely double check that before you go tearing a truck apart in your driveway. So, anyway, just wanted to go over that with you. I ordered these. These are the pucks that I use. They're spacers or whatever. They fit fine. I mean, they're made out of some kind of urethane something. They're Daystar brand. These are 1.5 inches, okay? They have where the spring sits up in there. It's like a groove. You mash the spring into that. So from about right here where my fingers are, I'm not getting a tape measure, but you know, they work, okay? The problem is you cannot, I got the thing in there, okay? I got the spring back up in there with that spacer on it. The problem was I couldn't compress the spring enough to get the ball joints into the knuckle. It was like 1 inch or 1.5 inches off. You will, if you're gonna lift the front end or use those spring spacers like that, you are going to have to use, a spring compressor. I do not have a spring compressor. I'm not going to buy one. I'm not going to drive to the store while this thing's torn apart in my driveway and rent one. Nor do I want my face or any other part of my body near a compressed spring that goes on a 3/4 ton pickup truck. If that thing comes loose, you can lose limbs. If not worse. You know, I know people that have messed with compressing springs like that before, gotten their teeth knocked out, gotten hurt really bad. I don't mess with it. I'm not going to. So I was hoping to level this thing out. I might do it in the future. I don't know. But at this point, they're going back in the box. I'm not going to send them back because they were only like $36, which, you know, it's still $36, but I'm going to hang on to them. If I end up selling this, I'll probably just give them to the next buyer, you know, the next owner of the truck, and see if they might want to use them. I don't know. I doubt they're going to. I would actually feel bad. I wouldn't feel right about mashing that thing up and getting it all dirty like that, scarring it up, and then sending it back and just tell them, oh, I don't need it anymore. I don't do stuff like that, man. I know a lot of people that do, and that's whatever, but I can't sleep at night when I do stuff like that. So it's not their fault. They do fit, they will work, but I'm not going to get a spring compressor. And I was really hoping I could do it with just putting putting a jack up under the lower control arm and smushing that spring up in there, but it's just not happening. Anyway, like I said, I've been taking breaks about every 20-30 minutes to cool off and not die out here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm about done with my brake, and I'm going to button this thing back up. Hopefully the brakes don't give me too much trouble. So I'm going to button it up and be done with that side at least, and I'll feel like I did something today. So I'm going to keep going. All right, guys, everything's buttoned up. Got the new brake rotor on there. This thing looks really good, man. It looks like it's zinc plated or something. Again, drilled and slotted. Got the new pads on there, ceramic pads, stabilizer pins and bushings. Ball joints are beautiful. Torqued everything down to that right there. One thing I am a little concerned about, and I don't know if this is normal. I don't do enough brakes. I've done them before, but I don't know. It seems like there's it should fit a little bit tighter around the studs, like the holes in the brake rotor there, but I don't know, the last ones were a little worse, so I'm not sure. Comment on that if you got any ideas. But yeah, new A-arms are looking good. There's the old one, all crusty looking. Ball joint was screwed up. Bushings were completely trashed. Duralast A-arms, what is it? TRQ brand. I got them off eBay or Amazon, I think eBay. TRQ brand upper control arms, and Monroe front shocks and rear shocks. I haven't done those yet, but anyway. And a giant pile of crap right here. But she's looking good. She's looking real good. So anyway, let me get the tire back on and keep going. All right, guys, so I got her all buttoned up, at least the side that I was doing. There she is. Got my water hose out. Had to spray all that wasp spray off of there. I mean, it was on there thick. Let me turn around, I'll show you. So yeah, everything looks good. Didn't feel any looseness or noises, nothing like that on that side. So I don't think I'm going to do a video on the passenger side, because it's pretty much the same thing, just like a mirror image basically on some of it. And I think the next step after that is I'm gonna be doing tie rod ends. I gotta order those. Once I get those in, those are pretty dang easy to put on. So once I do that, I'm gonna get insurance on this pig, and probably an inspection, and take it to a shop and get the transmission leak fixed, and try to chase down this oil leak, because it's leaking oil from somewhere. I think it might be the tappet cover gasket. I've seen a few videos where on these second gen Dodge diesels, it's pretty notorious for that. And I've also seen and heard where it's people have said the power steering lines leak or something like that. So I don't know, we'll see. But next step is tie rods. I'm going to do the rear shocks and insurance and inspection. So appreciate y'all watching. Again, I'm open to suggestions, comments, questions, whatever. Y'all want to leave something down there in the comment section. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching Do It All Garage. And if you'd be so kind, go ahead and click like and subscribe. I've got a lot more to come, slowly but surely. But y'all stay tuned. Thanks again for watching.